Preacher Boy Inc.
What's going on, y'all? This is the Gutta And Saved podcast, and I am your trusted host, Reese Johnson, a.k.a. Mr. Gas, a.k.a. Mr. Gutta And Saint himself. And you already know they can't stand me because I stay dropping the facts. I stay dropping the truth. And guess what? They don't like that, man. They can't stand me because of that. Man, listen, if it's in the headlines, we ain't about that gossip. If it's in the headlines, we gonna bring it to you. You know what I mean? Especially if we got the facts and we got the truth. I don't care if it's my grandmother. If my grandmother done did something that got her in the headlines and I got the facts and I got the truth, man, I'm gonna bring it to you, man.
Watch it, sucker.
Hey, before we get into this episode, I'm going to need y'all to click that subscribe button and to stay up with your boy. But without further ado, let's get into it. Gutta And Saved, they can't stand me. So, man, how to become a rich regular dude? Man, it's not as hard as people think it is. It's really not. We complicate a lot of stuff. Before I get into talking about how to become a rich regular dude, a lot of people have a problem with spending money that they really don't have. Just because you have an income, you got a job, doesn't mean you have money to spend.
I'm broke.
That's number one. You have to get your life in order, right? In order for you to become a rich regular dude. Now, check this out. The first thing you want to do in becoming a rich regular dude is fix your credit. You got to fix your credit. Because credit is attached to lending. A lot of people, especially in the black community, we waste a lot of money on interests.
I said, what the hell?
You pay a high car note and you got some of the highest interest because you got a car with bad credit. Some of us bought houses with semi-good credit, but you end up getting a high interest rate. Your credit cards, you got credit cards with high interest rate. You got and on top of that, you know, your daily taxes and all that stuff. So all that plays a factor. The lower your interest rate is, because you got good credit, the lower your interest rate is, the more money you save. So it's the difference between a person who got a car note that's 16, 17% and a person who have a car note that's 3%. That is an astronomical a lot of saving that you can put in your bank account. Take that in consideration. So before you go buy a car or do anything that's going to require you getting lending and a person is going to extend you credit and you going to end up paying interest, make sure your credit is right. So go see a credit professional. It's so much literature on YouTube and videos on YouTube that you can learn how to fix your own credit. Fix your credit first, right? The next thing you want to do is create a budget. You know how much money you make, right? You know how much, if you're married, you know how much money you and your spouse make. Create a spreadsheet on your monthly income, then put all your expenses in it. Once you put all your expenses in that spreadsheet, they got the new spreadsheets now where you can put all your expenses and it'll calculate everything. And you can, then when you put your income in there, you can calculate and it'll show you exactly if you're in the red or after you pay all your bills, is everything, you know, how much you're going to have left. So you want to create yourself a budget. After you create yourself a budget, you see, okay, if let's say you make $5,000 a month, you know, and all your bills come up to, let's say, $4,500. You need to start cutting back.
Hey, ain't nobody trying to hear that bull.
You need to get your bills to about $2,500. Now, the reason why I say $2,500 because that's what worked for me, right? I started my journey, like I say, about 6 or 7 years ago. I'm not ashamed to say I was making about $50,000 during that time. And I was wondering, I'm like, man, how come I'm living paycheck to paycheck? So I I did my spreadsheet and I did my calculation. I'm like, man, we spending too much money on this. We spending too much money on that. We spending too much money on food. We just spending too much money. So I scaled back. I said, all right, I want to be able to pay all my bills with one check. That's how I did it for years. So I started to pay all my bills with one check. Now I still was kind of low, so I supplemented my income and I started, doing little side hustles. Like I started driving for Uber. I started driving for Uber a few years ago when it first got hot. Made a lot of money. It was actually fun. I paid all my bills with my work paycheck, and the money I made from Uber and Lyft, I put in the bank account. I put up. So I supplemented that income. Then I got another little side hustle that I did. So all my side hustles, that money was going up in the bank because I wanted to create a cushion for myself. So I created a cushion for myself, and I did that for about 2 to 3 years. And then I was fortunate enough to get a better job. So as I got a better job, of course my income went up. So when my income went up, I was able to put up more money, and I didn't have to do, Lyft and Uber, but I still had my other jobs, my other side hustles that I did that didn't require, physical labor. So I did, I was, doing my other side hustles, and I began to save money. I said, all right, I got my credit right, put myself on a real strict budget. Did that for 5 years. I said, this was my goal. I want to put up at least $10,000 a year.
Oh my God! Wow!
Now, some might say, man, that's a bit extreme. No, it's a bit extreme if you don't discipline yourself. I began to put up almost $1,000 a month. And if you know how to budget yourself, right? You know whether if you're overspending, if you did a little bit too much spending for that month. You'll know if you're very punctual at it, like I was. So if I knew I was going to be doing a little bit more spending, what I would do is I still had Lyft, I still had Uber, I still had my little side hustles. So what I would go a little bit harder in them and make up that money. So I made sure that I was hitting my goal and putting up almost $1,000 a month so I can hit my goal every year. Now, here's the bonus to that. When you do your taxes, if you income tax come around, you might get a couple $1,000s. When income tax came around, I got a couple $1,000, put that back, boom. So I began to create a large cushion for myself. So when I got to a place where I was comfortable, where I said, you know what, I got a cushion for myself, I'm cool, I started to leverage my credit. Now, when I mean by leverage your credit, meaning I paid all my bills with my credit, then paid my credit cards off at the end of the month. What that do is that allows you to accumulate bonus rewards. All my credit cards have bonus rewards, right? I have very large credit cards. So that created a bonus reward system where I would make money. They would give me money for using the card. So I'm like, man, shoot, I might as well just pay all my bills with it. Paid all my bills with them and all that stuff. And I was able to accumulate bonus rewards points, travel points, whatever your bonus or your credit card, do. So, with that, I was able to, you could pay some bills with that. You can go on travel. You can go grocery shopping. You can get gas, whatever you want to do with your points. I began to do that, right? That was next level. So you got fixing your credit, creating yourself a budget. And then lastly, what I did was live within my means. I really never cared for trying to keep up with people. Yes, I like nice stuff, but I always put myself on a budget where, okay, I can get me something nice once a month. I get me something nice, If I got me something nice, cool. And I budget myself. I really didn't really eat out too much, so that wasn't a problem for me. And I got myself something nice within my means, and I began to, as I made more money and grew, I began to, my lifestyle began to change. So it's okay if you're growing in your lifestyle change, but do not change your lifestyle if you're not growing just to keep up with somebody else. When I bought my house, remember, it was within my budget. You buy a house on your budget. I bought a house within my budget, knowing that I can pay the mortgage on my house for a whole year and it wouldn't hurt me at all. So I quit myself with that. I could pay, if I pay my mortgage for a year, which is, a decent amount of money, and I still have a bunch of money in the bank, I don't have to worry about, that bill. So all my money that I get, I don't have to worry about paying my mortgage for a whole year. I can, use the money to do what I want, and I'll be able to, elevate as my, my finances grow. So what I tell people, man, create yourself a cushion. Create yourself a cushion. So not only do I have my savings, right? I begin to invest. I invest my money, a Roth IRA. Now I didn't get too much into the stock market. I have my 401k. So on top of the money that I have saved, I have, the 401k, and I have my Roth IRA, profit sharing, and all that good stuff. And I live on a budget. Live on a strict budget. And then once you create yourself a nice cushion, here's the thing. This is what you're gonna do. Then you can ball. Then you can ball.
Show me the money.
And then, see, the problem with people is we live in a microwave society where everybody things supposed to happen instantly. I'm going to play things. I'm going to play chess. If I grow, I grow. If I have to stay stagnant for a little bit just to get to start growing, I'm going to do it. But I'm playing a game that, like, if this is a marathon and not a sprint, I want to make sure I'm setting myself up. Most Americans don't even have $1,000 in the bank. Most Americans' credit is shot to the roof. I mean, not shot to the roof, shot to the pits of hell, and they need to come up out of there. And most people are living paycheck to paycheck. If you would sit back and budget yourself out, you will realize that you probably have more money than you think. Real rap. When I help people budget, and I start saying, like, you don't need that, you don't need to do that, you need to cut back on that, cut back on that, and they realize how much money they really have. Man, I had a brother the other day told me, man, you don't understand how much you saved my life and how much you helped me and my family just by doing practical things. Fix your credit, create yourself a budget, start to live within your means on your level. And you will probably live better than most people who have access to a lot of money, but don't know how to take care of it. They don't know how to take care of it. I live within a budget, and I make it look really, 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 really good because I know what I can spend some months, and I know what I can't spend some months. And I'm like, yo, you know what? Some days I can't, some months I can't do that. And it's fine. It's fine. It's completely fine. And it's not the fact that I can't do it because I don't got the money. It's just that I have a goal, and I'm very goal oriented. So when I put a goal before myself, I have to execute it. I will lose sleep. Real rap. This is real rap. I'm telling y'all a little something personal about me. I will lose sleep if I didn't accomplish something I was supposed to accomplish in that day. And I will probably, if it's something that's in close proximity, I'll go do it. Even if I'm up to 3-4 o'clock in the morning. And that's just how I'm programmed. That's how I'm programmed. I'm programmed that I'm not built to lose. So yeah, man, this is just now, if you need help with building a budget, if you need help with understanding credit and all that stuff, hit me up, man. Hit me up. We can definitely, chop it up, and I'll show you, showed you and help guide you, because I do desire to see people, financially liberated, living within their means and budgeting themselves. And then let me tell you something. I started my journey about 5-6 years ago. By the time I'm 50, I'm 40 now. By the time I'm 50, I can probably, I ain't gonna say retire, but I can go work at daggone CVS making $12 an hour and be good. because by then I'm gonna been done paying my mortgage off. And that's the only debt I have. All my cars are paid off. All my credit cards are, good. I don't have any other debt. And that's what I'm trying to tell people. Don't carry debt. Yes, you want to make sure you're buying you get a mortgage because that's the perfect way to hide money. If you want to sell your house, I get people all the time that want to buy my house. Like the market is so crazy right now on one of my properties. Man, I could make a lot of money on it if I was to sell it. But I realized that if they want that now, it's going to go up crazy, in the near future. So I'm not going to sell it. And that's the perfect way to hide money is in property. So I'm setting myself up and setting my family up, my kids to have something, creating generational wealth. And I'm gonna do a video depending on the response I get from this video on how I set my sons up. My sons and my daughters. My sons and my daughters. Well, my daughter's a little bit older now, but my sons, my younger sons, well, they're not that young. But anyway, how I set my sons up by if from 18 to 25, if they put up $5,000 a year, so that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. That's $35,000 that they have in the bank. If they put up $5,000 a year, right, on top of having good credit, still living home, of course, because I'm going to let them stay. They can stay in my house. I have a big enough house where they can still stay in the house and save that money with good credit. By the time they 25, they have that money in the bank, good credit, and be able to go off and build their own family. Now, I'm gonna show you how I could show y'all how I did that, man, which is dope. I have one of my sons on that program, and he's doing really well for himself, very well. And that he got a better job when he was 21 or 22. Now he's making more money. Now he can put up almost $10,000 a year. So by the time he's 25, he'll have well over $35,000 in the bank with good credit. And when he's and didn't even go to college, and he's debt free. So it can happen. This is just a quick video on how to become a rich regular dude. I am your boy Reese Johnson. This is the Gutta And Saved podcast. Don't forget to click that subscribe button and that bell for notification, and stay tuned for these last announcements.
Till the breath of my lungs is gone, I'm a bomb on you haters like records flex spin on. Strap Bible and gat, either weapon in palm. Young David with the writing, still quoting my psalms. Gas, flow with a century, flow it consistently. Even all timers patience, vividly remember me. Death to my enemy, Satan we enemy, causing them injury with the word we splurge, leaving them history. Gas off the curb, see me front stage now, feeding them hope, no more dope, putting the cocaine down. See labels trying to boogie like I'm so trained now. If my rap lines was drugged, this I fitting on sound. See, listen, handle the Bible, see we stay under oath, hoping or repent, dying from the murder I wrote. Falls rap, I'm like scriptures, all my verses they quote. Got it controlled like the TV remote. He ain't no joke, it's more than life than perk 30s and Rugers, moving birdies and shooters, big booties and hooters, we ball. Then emerge from it all, we like the Hoosiers, I'm called, but I give glory to God, cause see the truest gas.
Preacher Boy, Inc.
I'd say that was a pretty successful broadcast.
Gutta And Saved, they can't stand me.